The email hit my inbox at 4:47 p.m. on a Friday. Subject: All hands Monday 9 a.m. Important announcement. No details. Just important announcement and attendance mandatory. I'd been in tech long enough to know what that meant. Monday morning, the entire IT department filed into the main conference room. 23 people. Engineers. Sysadmins. Database specialists. Our CTO, Jason, stood at the front with a slide deck already loaded. Good morning, everyone. I'll get right to it. We've made a strategic decision to automate significant portions of our IT operations. We're implementing an AI-driven infrastructure management system. He clicked to the next slide. Showed a timeline. Showed projected cost savings. Over the next 90 days, we'll be transitioning to the new system. Unfortunately, this means we'll be reducing headcount in IT by 60%. The room went dead silent. We'll be making individual decisions over the next 2 weeks about who stays and who's part of the reduction. We appreciate everything you've all done. He left. Didn't take questions. I sat there thinking about the encryption keys. The ones I'd implemented 5 years ago when we migrated to cloud infrastructure. The ones that secured every database, every backup, every critical system. The ones that only I had access to. Hey Tangled Yarns family, it's Brett. Welcome to the story of how a company decided to replace their IT department with AI and forgot that some things can't be automated. Specifically, the master encryption keys that protected $840 million in customer data. Today's story is about Marcus Reed, a senior systems architect who spent 7 years building the security infrastructure for a SaaS company. And when that company announced they were automating his department and eliminating his job, Marcus made sure they understood exactly what they were losing. Let's untangle this. Marcus Reed joined CloudSync Technologies in 2017 as a systems engineer. CloudSync provided cloud-based data synchronization and backup services for enterprise clients. Big clients. Financial institutions. Healthcare systems. Law firms. Companies that handled sensitive data and needed bulletproof security. By 2020, Marcus was lead security architect. His job was making sure client data was protected. Encrypted. Backed up. Secure from breaches. He implemented a comprehensive encryption system. Every database encrypted at rest. Every transmission encrypted in transit. Multiple layers of security. The system used a hierarchical key structure. Master encryption keys that unlocked secondary keys that unlocked the actual data encryption keys. Marcus held the master keys. They were stored in an encrypted vault that only he could access. With multi-factor authentication tied to his biometrics and personal devices. This wasn't unusual. Most companies have key custodians. Trusted personnel who hold critical access credentials. But Marcus had designed the system. Built it from scratch. And he'd built it securely enough that even he couldn't access it without multiple authentication steps. By 2024, CloudSync had 340 enterprise clients. $840 million in annual recurring revenue. They managed over 47 petabytes of client data. All of it encrypted with Marcus's key system. Then in March 2024, CloudSync raised a Series D funding round. $200 million. Led by a tech-focused VC firm. The VCs brought in new leadership. New CTO. New operational efficiency mandates. Jason Park became CTO. Background in AI and machine learning. Obsessed with automation. His pitch to the board: we can reduce IT headcount by 60% using AI-driven infrastructure management. The board loved it. Approved the plan. Gave Jason budget to implement. Jason didn't consult with the existing IT team. Didn't ask what could or couldn't be automated. Just announced the plan. Gave 90 days notice. Started the reduction process. Marcus was flagged for elimination in week 1. His manager called him. I'm sorry, Marcus. I fought for you. But Jason says security architecture can be handled by the AI system. The AI system doesn't have my encryption keys. What? The master keys. For the entire encryption infrastructure. I'm the only one with access. Can't you just hand them over? To who? The AI? His manager went quiet. I'll talk to Jason. Jason called Marcus 2 days later. I understand there's some concern about encryption keys. Not concern. Fact. I hold the master encryption keys for all client data. If I leave, no one can access them. Can't we reset them? Not without decrypting and re-encrypting 47 petabytes of data. That would take months. And we'd have to take all systems offline. Why did you set it up this way? Because this is how enterprise encryption works. You need trusted key custodians. I'm the custodian. Well, we need you to transfer that access before you leave. Transfer it to who? We'll figure that out. But they didn't figure it out. Because Jason was focused on the AI implementation and assumed the key thing was a minor technical detail. 2 weeks later, Marcus got his termination notice. Effective in 60 days. Severance package. Standard exit paperwork. He'd expected it. Wasn't surprised. Wasn't even angry. Just methodical. He started documenting every system that depended on his encryption keys. Every backup that required his access. Every client database that would become inaccessible if the keys were lost. He sent a detailed email to Jason, the CEO, and the head of legal. Subject: Critical Encryption Key Transfer Requirements. In it, he outlined 340 client databases requiring master key access, 847 backup systems dependent on key hierarchy, 12 disaster recovery protocols tied to key authentication, estimated 6 to 8 weeks needed to properly transfer key custody, requirement for new key custodian to undergo security clearance and training. He ended with, I'm happy to facilitate this transfer, but it cannot be rushed. Failure to properly transfer key custody will result in permanent data loss. Jason replied, noted. We'll handle it. They didn't handle it. Marcus sent follow-up emails. Offered to create a transition plan. Requested meetings with whoever would be taking over. No response. With 2 weeks left before his termination date, Marcus tried one more time. Sent an email to the CEO directly. I'm leaving in 14 days. No one has been assigned as the new key custodian. This will result in a complete inability to access client data. The CEO forwarded it to Jason. Can you address this? Jason replied, the AI system will manage encryption. This is FUD from someone trying to keep their job. FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Marcus wasn't trying to keep his job. He was trying to prevent a disaster. But they didn't believe him. His last day was May 15, 2024. HR called him at 9 a.m. We need you to complete exit procedures. Please return all company equipment and complete the offboarding checklist. The checklist included, transfer all access credentials and proprietary information. Marcus transferred his standard credentials. Email. VPN. Administrative accounts. But the encryption keys? Those weren't on any system. They were in his personal encrypted vault. The vault that required his fingerprint, his personal authentication device, and a passphrase only he knew. At 4 p.m., he logged out of all systems. Powered down his work laptop. Handed it to IT. At 4:30 p.m., he opened his personal vault on his personal device. And deleted the master encryption keys. All of them. Then he deleted the backup copies. And the emergency recovery keys. Wiped them completely. At 5 p.m., he walked out. The disaster didn't happen immediately. It happened slowly. Like a building with its foundation removed, but still standing. Until it wasn't. First sign came on May 17. 2 days after Marcus left. A client called support. We can't access our backup files from last week. The support tech tried to restore them. Got an error. Encryption key not found. Tried again. Same error. Escalated to the infrastructure team. They tried using the standard decryption tools. Nothing worked. Called the security team. We need the master encryption keys. Who has those? Marcus did. Marcus is gone. Then who has them now? Silence. They reached out to Marcus. He didn't answer. They tried accessing the key management system he'd built. But it required authentication they didn't have. By May 20th, they had 12 clients reporting backup access issues. By May 24th, they couldn't provision new database instances. The system tried to encrypt them and failed because it couldn't access the master keys. By May 28th, the CEO called an emergency meeting. Why can't we access our own systems? The infrastructure director explained. All our encryption is tied to master keys that Marcus controlled. He's the only one who had access. When he left, the keys went with him. Why didn't anyone transfer those before he left? Everyone looked at Jason. Jason said he was supposed to transfer everything during offboarding. He transferred his standard access. But the encryption keys were separate. He warned us about this multiple times. The CEO pulled up his email. Found Marcus's warnings. Read them aloud. He told us this would happen. We thought he was exaggerating, Jason said quietly. Call him. Get him back here. Fix this. They called Marcus. He answered on the third ring. Marcus, we need to talk about the encryption keys. What about them? We can't access them. We need you to provide them. I don't have them anymore. What do you mean? I deleted them on my last day. The line went silent. You deleted them? I sent multiple emails explaining that proper key transfer takes 6 to 8 weeks. No one responded. No one assigned a replacement custodian. So I followed standard security protocol. When a key custodian leaves without a proper handoff, the keys are destroyed to prevent unauthorized access. You can't just destroy the keys. I can. And I did. It's in a security policy I wrote in 2020. Section 7, Paragraph 4. In the event of custodian departure without authorized transfer, all master keys shall be securely destroyed. But now we can't access our data. Correct. How do we fix this? You decrypt and re-encrypt everything. Takes about 4 to 6 months. Requires taking all systems offline. You'll need to notify clients of extended downtime. That will destroy our business. Yes, it will. What do you want? Money? Your job back? I don't want anything. You automated me out of a job. This is the consequence. Marcus hung up. CloudSync tried to recover. Hired data recovery specialists. Security consultants. Cryptography experts. None of them could crack the encryption. Marcus had built it too well. They had 3 options. 1. Decrypt and re-encrypt everything. 4 to 6 months of downtime. 2. Restore from unencrypted backups. But they didn't have any. Everything was encrypted. 3. Bring Marcus back and hope he had a backup of the keys. They tried option 3. Offered Marcus $500,000 to restore the keys. He replied, I don't have backups. I destroyed them. As per policy. Offered him $1 million. Same answer. Offered him $2 million and equity. I destroyed the keys. No amount of money changes that. They threatened legal action. Marcus's attorney sent back a copy of his exit checklist and the security policy. Mr. Reed followed company policy. He transferred all required credentials. The encryption key destruction was explicitly mandated by the security protocols CloudSync approved in 2020. By July 2024, CloudSync had lost 87 clients. Companies that couldn't access their data and couldn't wait months for recovery. Revenue dropped from $840 million projected to $340 million actual. The VCs forced out the CEO and Jason. In August 2024, they hired a new CTO. Someone with actual infrastructure experience. She called Marcus. I'm not here to threaten or bribe. I'm here to understand. Is there any way to recover that data? No. I built the encryption to be unbreakable. It worked. What should we have done differently? You should have listened when I told you this would happen. I wasn't here then. But I am now. Can I ask you one thing? What? Did you keep a backup? Off-book? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Why would I do that? Because you spent 7 years building that system. Because you cared about the clients. Because maybe you knew this would happen and left yourself an out. I deleted the keys. That's not an answer to my question. Another pause. What are you offering? I want to hire you back. Chief Information Security Officer. $320,000 base. Equity. Full department rebuild authority. And a written policy that security recommendations are binding. And if I don't have a backup? Then we're dead anyway. But I don't think you'd let 340 companies lose their data forever. I think you protected them. Even from us. Marcus smiled. She was right. He did have a backup. Encrypted. Stored securely. Not for himself. For the clients who trusted CloudSync with their data. I'll come back, he said. But Jason never works in this company again. He's already gone. And the AI automation plan? Cancelled. Marcus returned in September 2024. Restored the encryption keys from his backup. Brought all systems back online. 47 of the 87 lost clients came back. The rest were gone forever. But CloudSync survived. Rebuilt under Marcus's security architecture. And every new employee now gets a training on the story of what happens when you try to automate the person holding the keys to the kingdom. Let's talk about what actually happened here. This isn't a story about revenge. It's a story about consequence. Marcus warned them. Multiple times. In writing. With specifics. And they ignored him. Because Jason wanted to believe AI could replace human expertise. And the CEO trusted Jason more than the security architect who'd built the entire system. That wasn't malice. That was arrogance. Marcus didn't sabotage anything. He followed the security policy that CloudSync had approved. When a key custodian leaves without proper transfer, the keys are destroyed. That's standard security practice in high-security environments. The fact that CloudSync didn't plan for this. Didn't assign a replacement. Didn't take Marcus's warning seriously? That's on them. And honestly? Marcus keeping that backup shows he wasn't trying to destroy the company. He was trying to protect the clients. But he made damn sure the company learned their lesson before he restored anything. Alright, Tangled Yarns family, your turn. Have you ever held access or knowledge that a company assumed was transferable and later discovered wasn't? Or have you watched a company fire critical personnel and then panic when they realized that person was irreplaceable? Drop your stories below. If this one hit home, hit that like button. Subscribe for new stories every single day. And remember, automation is great. But it can't hold the encryption keys. Only people can. I'm Brett. This is Tangled Yarns. And that yarn? Officially untangled. See you tomorrow.